Welcome to Tech News Today, a podcast about keeping you informed and empowered by giving you the latest tech stories that impact your daily life. We'll get started in a moment. First, we'd like to recognize our partners who help make these podcasts possible. It's Tuesday, November 6th. I'm Mike James. Coming up in a bit, we'll tell you about the latest sleazy scam that's circulating. Plus, your old Apple gadget might not be obsolete after all, and a popular browser is trying to protect you from harmful ads. All that and more in Tech News Today. We start with the latest sleazy scam circulating right now. Crooks are basically trying to blackmail people with some good old-fashioned scare tactics. They're targeting victims of previous data breaches, like the massive one at Yahoo that exposed billions of credentials a while back. According to the Barracuda Security Company, scammers are sending emails to data victims and including one of their old passwords that had previously been stolen and available on the dark web. They claim that the victim's gadget is infected with a remote access Trojan from a porn site. The scammer then claims to have the ability to control the infected gadget, and they claim they recorded them watching adult videos. They also say they accessed your contacts list, and if you don't pay a ransom, they will send the video to everyone on the list. It's the latest version of what's known as a sextortion scam. Some of the ransoms are as high as $5,000. As a matter of fact, we had a caller on the Commando show a couple of weeks back saying that this was happening to him. All right, so here's the thing. Do not fall for it. As we said, this is a total scam. The crooks are buying stolen credentials for super cheap on the dark web, and they're hoping to catch people off guard, making them think that it must be real since they actually have an old password. And if you do get one of these scam emails, the prudent thing to do is do not respond. Instead, just report it to the FBI. Do an online search for the Internet Crime Complaint Center to file a report. It's the best way to help stop these crooks in their tracks. And once again, search the Internet Crime Complaint Center. If you have some old Apple gadgets lying around, as you probably know, Apple doesn't repair old devices that are considered obsolete. Typically, that means devices between 5 and 7 years old. So if you have an older iPhone or MacBook and it stopped working, you're out of luck. Well, until now, that is. Apple is now launching a new program called Repair Vintage Apple Products Pilot. The new program will extend the period of time that Apple and authorized service providers will fix old devices. According to 9to5Mac, the new program will initially include the iPhone 5, both the 11 and 13-inch MacBook Airs released in 2012, and both the 21.5-inch and the 27-inch iMacs released in 2011. More devices are expected to be added later this year. One thing to keep in mind is repairs to gadgets that qualify for this program will only be made based on the availability of parts. So if the part your device needs isn't on hand, you're still out of luck. But it is worth checking into. Oh, and one more thing, remember the Kim Commando rule of thumb. If it costs half the price of a new device, just go buy the new device. Just ahead, a popular browser is upping protections against pop ads. Right now, a word from our partners at Medi-Share and how you could be saving money with this alternative healthcare option. See, saving money is important, but it's weird how some people will go through great lengths to save a few bucks and ignore the bigger ways to save life-changing amounts of money. If you switch to Medi-Share for your healthcare, you could save $500 a month. That's the typical savings for a family. There's a reason why Medi-Share is growing so fast. It works. Go to Medishare.com or call 855-25-SHARE. That's 855-25-SHARE. Medishare.com or call 855-25-SHARE. So don't you just hate websites that have pop-up boxes that can't be closed or they're hard to close? They hide the little X or put it somewhere where when you click on it, you actually get taken to the ad anyway? Some of these are built to trick people into clicking them. Or some are even claiming to be a system warning but are actually phishing scams to steal personal data. So if you choose the Google Chrome as your web browser, Chrome 71 will be released next month, and with it comes some built-in protections against these types of experience. The feature is called Abusive Sites Filtering. And here's how it works. Starting next month, Chrome will begin removing all ads on sites with reported persistent abusive experiences. Site owners will have 30 days to fix the experiences that are flagged before this Chrome add-on removes the ads. Now, if you don't want the new filtering feature when it rolls out, you can also disable it in Chrome's settings. And again, that's going to start next month. If you love to travel but you hate going through those border control checkpoints, there's news of a new automated lie detection test that's being tried out in a few countries in the European Union. So yeah, you heard that right. Travelers will begin the tests by an artificial intelligence border agent. I don't know if you can call artificial intelligence a border agent. Isn't an agent a human? Anyway, side note there. But they will begin tests by the artificial intelligence robots before being allowed into the country. It's currently in a 6-month trial phase to work out any flaws, but once all the bugs are fixed, it could end up in countries all across the globe. Hungarian National Police are leading the program at 4 different border crossing points. It's intended to empower border agents to increase accuracy and efficiency of border checks. The virtual agent will ask travelers questions like, "What's in your suitcase?" And if you were to open your suitcase to reveal its contents, would it match your answer? If the machine thinks that you're lying, you'll have to talk to a human border agent for further questioning. Now, once you pass the lie detection test, you'll be given a QR code that lets you pass through the border. Problem is, the system isn't very accurate yet. The team behind the new tech tested it on 30 people, and it only had about a 70% accuracy rate. Researchers believe they can get that up to 85%, but with over 700 million people traveling throughout Europe every year, that's a ridiculously high number of people being wrongly accused of lying. We'll have to wait and see if this lie detector actually gets past the trial phase. So we've been hearing a lot about 5G technology for years. We actually did a podcast on it on Commando on Demand a while back. 5G is the 5th generation of cellular networking. First generation, 1G, came out all the way back in 1982. Each generation then lasts for about 10 years, and 4G was released in 2010. So we are almost due for a new one. In fact, the 5G standard was finally finished earlier this year. Apple appears to be the one company that's right on track. Rumors have it that Apple plans to release the first 5G phone in 2020 using a modem chip from Intel. One big problem facing the new technology is the fact that 5G modems produce some serious heat, which could impact the phone's battery life. It's a problem several manufacturers have been trying to solve for a while now. Will it be fixed and ready to go by 2020? We shall see. Coming up, we're going to tell you about a scary phishing attack targeting your bank accounts, and there's more news about the hate speech site Gab. Right now, a quick word from our friends who helped make this podcast possible. Well, it's a new week and another phishing attack is going around. This one is so convincing that tons of people are falling for it. What's happening is victims are getting texts from their bank saying that their account has been locked. The texts include a link that supposedly will help you unlock your account. Problem is, it's all a big scam. If you click on the link, you'll be sent to a spoofed website that looks exactly like your bank's website. And once there, you're supposed to enter your credentials, including username, password, one-time passcode, and PIN code. So what happens is a crook then can turn around and use their gadget to steal your money from your bank and from a cardless ATM machine, which doesn't require a debit card. This is fairly new technology, but is already being used at some of the big banks like Chase. They're supposed to be more secure than the old school ATMs, but obviously not if you fall for one of these phishing attacks. According to Krebs on security, the scammers have stolen almost $70,000 using this phishing scam in less than 2 weeks. It's a great reminder that you should never trust links from unsolicited texts or emails. And if you need to contact your bank, always call them on the number that's on the back of your credit card. And now more on the social media site Gab. We've all seen the horrible pictures and video from the shooting at the Pittsburgh synagogue a couple of weekends ago. 11 people actually were killed and 6 others wounded after a gunman opened fire during a prayer service. We told you then how the alleged shooter used a little-known social media site called Gab to post a rant just moments before the attack. Now, the person who created Gab said he did so to provide an online space where speech was truly free. The problem is, it seems to be a place where political extremists gather to post hate speech. A couple of days after the shooting, domain provider GoDaddy gave Gab 24 hours to move to another service. That then led to the site going offline, but apparently Gab is moving toward a new domain registrar called Epik. That's E-P-I-K. Epik's CEO Robert Monster posted a statement on the company's blog explaining why it's hosting the controversial social media site. He basically criticized digital censorship and said he believes everyone has the right to be online no matter what their beliefs. Last we checked, the Gab site was struggling to function properly. Most people are getting error messages when trying to access the site. It might be overloaded with traffic for a while, or who knows, it might be an ethical hacker hitting them with a good old-fashioned denial of service attack. In which case, nice. Hey, do us a favor. Once you're done listening to this podcast, would you share us on Twitter or Facebook? We would appreciate it. It helps more people find us. Thank you. Hey, finally, for today's Commando Kicker, did you know that a dog's life expectancy and risk of developing serious illnesses have been linked to the color of their coats? Specifically, research has come out about the different health conditions in Labradors. It found that chocolate labs live significantly shorter lives than their black and yellow cousins, and also have higher incidences of ear and skin problems. So I guess they're saying be careful who you choose when you're picking out a new Labrador. But, let's face it, the dogs really choose us, right? Don't forget to check out our other podcasts at podnet.com. We've got, of course, Commando on Demand, Tech News This Week, Cyber Law Now, Golden Age of Radio, where we go back and listen to some old-time radio shows, and, of course, one of our favorites, History in the Highway with Stan Ellsworth. Podnet.com. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.